Operant conditioning, a key concept in psychology, is a method of learning that relies on rewards and punishments to shape behavior. This principle, extensively researched and popularized by B.F. Skinner, posits that behavior is influenced by the consequences that follow it. To understand operant conditioning, we need to delve into the basics of how it works, its components, and its applications in everyday life. Operant conditioning is built on the idea that behaviors can be strengthened or weakened based on the outcomes they produce. Positive outcomes or reinforcements increase the likelihood of a behavior being repeated, while negative outcomes or punishments decrease its likelihood. To grasp this concept, let's consider a few examples. Imagine a student in a classroom setting. When the student answers a question correctly and receives praise from the teacher, this praise acts as a positive reinforcement. The student is more likely to participate again in the future because the praise is rewarding. Conversely, if the student receives a reprimand for talking out of turn, this punishment decreases the chances of the behavior recurring. Operant conditioning consists of several key components: reinforcement, punishment, and the schedules of reinforcement. Reinforcement can be positive or negative. Positive reinforcement involves adding a pleasant stimulus to encourage a behavior. For instance, giving a child a treat for completing their homework is a form of positive reinforcement. Negative reinforcement, on the other hand, involves removing an unpleasant stimulus to encourage a behavior. An example is turning off a loud alarm when you wake up on time. Both types of reinforcement aim to increase the desired behavior. Punishment, in contrast, aims to decrease unwanted behaviors and can also be positive or negative. Positive punishment involves adding an unpleasant stimulus to reduce a behavior. For example, scolding a dog for chewing on shoes is a positive punishment. Negative punishment involves removing a pleasant stimulus to reduce a behavior, such as taking away a teenager's gaming privileges for not doing chores. The timing and frequency of reinforcement and punishment are crucial in operant conditioning. This brings us to the concept of reinforcement schedules, which dictate how often a behavior is reinforced. There are four main types of schedules: fixed ratio, variable ratio, fixed interval, and variable interval. In a fixed ratio schedule, reinforcement is given after a set number of responses. For example, a factory worker might receive a bonus for every 10 products manufactured. This schedule typically results in a high and steady rate of responding, as individuals know exactly when reinforcement will occur. A variable ratio schedule provides reinforcement after an unpredictable number of responses, like playing slot machines in a casino. This schedule creates a high and steady rate of response because the individual never knows when the next reinforcement will come, making the behavior highly resistant to extinction. Fixed interval schedules deliver reinforcement after a fixed amount of time has passed. An example is a weekly paycheck. This schedule tends to produce a scalloped pattern of response where individuals show little response immediately after reinforcement, but increase their responding as the time for the next reinforcement approaches. Variable interval schedules provide reinforcement after varying amounts of time. For instance, checking for a text message might be reinforced at unpredictable intervals. This schedule generally produces a moderate, steady rate of response, since the timing of the next reinforcement is uncertain. Operant conditioning extends beyond the laboratory and classroom. It plays a significant role in shaping behaviors in everyday life. Parents use operant conditioning techniques to encourage desirable behaviors in their children, such as completing chores or behaving politely. Employers use it to motivate employees, offering bonuses or promotions for high performance. Even our personal habits, like exercising regularly or eating healthily, can be influenced by operant conditioning principles. One of the most famous experiments in operant conditioning is Skinner's box, or the operant conditioning chamber. In this experiment, a rat is placed in a box equipped with a lever and a food dispenser. When the rat presses the lever, food is released as a reward. Over time, the rat learns to press the lever more frequently to receive the food. This experiment demonstrates how behavior can be shaped through reinforcement. Critics of operant conditioning argue that it oversimplifies complex human behaviors and ignores internal thoughts and emotions. However, its principles are still widely applied in various fields, including education, psychology, and animal training. In education, teachers use operant conditioning to manage classroom behavior and motivate students. Techniques such as token economies, where students earn tokens for good behavior that can be exchanged for rewards, are based on operant conditioning principles. These methods have been shown to improve classroom management and student performance. In psychology, operant conditioning is used in behavior therapy to treat various disorders. For example, in treating phobias, therapists might use positive reinforcement to gradually expose patients to the feared object or situation, rewarding them for staying calm and facing their fears. Animal trainers also rely heavily on operant conditioning. Training a dog to sit, stay, or perform tricks involves using positive reinforcement such as treats and praise to encourage the desired behavior. Over time, the dog learns to associate the behavior with the reward, making it more likely to repeat the behavior. While operant conditioning focuses on external behaviors and their consequences, it is essential to recognize that human learning is a complex process influenced by many factors, including cognitive processes and social interactions. However, understanding operant conditioning provides valuable insights into how behavior can be shaped and modified. To sum up, operant conditioning is a powerful tool for understanding and influencing behavior. By recognizing the impact of reinforcement and punishment, we can apply these principles in various aspects of our lives, from parenting and education to therapy and animal training. As we continue to explore and understand these principles, we gain better control over shaping behaviors and creating positive outcomes in our personal and professional lives. Understanding operant conditioning helps us appreciate the dynamics of learning and behavior. By observing the consequences of actions and adjusting our responses accordingly, we can foster environments that promote growth, learning, and positive change.